Do you know what the most dangerous position on the basketball court is? If you do, don't say nothing. In this video of Keys to the Game, I'm going to be going over what I believe is the most dangerous position on the court. Alright guys, welcome back to another edition of Keys to the Game. If this is your first time, please do me a huge favor and hit the like and subscribe button. In this video, we're going to be talking about what I believe is the most dangerous position on the basketball court. To get started, are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. The most dangerous position on the court, I believe, is the small forward, power forward position. That's the power forward who also plays a little bit of 3-4. And basically nowadays it's called a stretch forward. It's like the Draymond position, but a shooter. It's more like a 3-4 because Draymond doesn't play the 3. So it's more like the 3-4. It's more like a LeBron, because LeBron is a small forward. But it's more like a KD, 3, stretch 4. That position, especially in a pro overseas setting, is by far, in my belief, the most dangerous position on the court. That is the most X factor position on the court. I always like to have dialogue with my guys, and this is why I really come up with a lot of these segments to talk about, because we be having basketball talks, and we're talking about the game and talking about this and that and whatever, and these topics come up and I'll be like, ooh, I gotta talk about that. And when we were talking about like just his position, because my homeboy, we play the exact same position. We play the 3-4, mainly stretch 4, some 3, but it's a 3-4 combo. Whatever position you stick me, I can play the 3, I can play the 4, but the most comfortable spot to take advantage of every defense is the stretch 4 position. Why do I say that? I say that because it is the most slept on position in the game. If you got a big man, if you got a big 7-footer, or you got a really, really good big 5 man that set screens and roll to the basket, that is so difficult for the defense, because you gotta respect the big man rolling, sealing, taking up a lot of space. That's gonna make the defense do what? Collapse. Because if you ever really pay attention to the game of basketball, what they always tell you, the guard, if you're a point guard or a guard, they tell you get into the teeth of the defense and what? Collapse the defense. Collapse the defense. 9 times out of 10, once a big man sets a screen and he rolls down, that 4 man is popping to about that top of the key to 45-degree opposite angle. And if that guard does not help, your big man is catching a lob, he's dunking, he's sealing in, because he's setting these big boy brick wall screens, getting the point guard open to what? Break the defense down, collapse the defense. If a point guard comes off on the strong side of a pick and roll, rule number 1 for any true defender that understands the game of basketball and knows defense is you can't help on the strong side corner. That is you can't help. You can jab, but you do not help. Why? Because that's a shooter. That's probably the 2 man. He's sitting in the corner. As soon as you help, I'm going to kick to the corner. You never help from the corner. Why? Because you're going to leave the shooter, especially strong side. Okay, he doesn't help. He stayed home. Point guard is open. Why? Big boy screen, brick wall. He probably laid out, stuck. Or they switch. Now you got a little man on my big, sealing and controlling the paint. Opposite man, he's normally in the middle of the basket. He has to help over. The 4 man what does he do on defense? He catches the big man rolling, because what does he see? He sees, dang, I got my point guard on the center. I have to help. And if a true basketball player, they're probably telling you, yo, X out, X out. What does that mean? That means switch with me and you run to the opposite corner so I can pick up the big and I at least have a 4-man trying to fight the big instead of the guard trying to guard the big. But in that split second, that very split second, guess who's wide open sitting at the top of the 4-man? That stretch 4-man just sitting up right there, wide open. Which brings me to another point. That position is such a mental position. To be successful in that position of the game, at that position as a player, is strictly mental. Why? Because you're going to get open shots. No matter what, you are going to get open shots in that scenario. And the pick and roll is one of the most ran scenarios in every single game. You're going to get your shots. Either it's going to be at the top of the key or it's going to be the corners. Because once that big man rolls, that 4-man is always helping. Me and one of my guys always joke, because we're playing in Argentina. He's playing in Argentina right now, and I played several times in Argentina. And it's like just the study in the mindset of just 95% of players is, if the big man rolls, you help. You help. So that always, as stretch 4-man, you're always sitting there waiting wide open. All you're waiting for is just the guard. If you have a good guard and a good big man, that stretch 4 spot is the ultimate position that you can dominate. So that's why it's so mental, because you're going to have your shots. That's what we were talking. You're going to get your shots every game no matter what. You're going to at least get 4 open shots. You have to. So the game really determines on, it doesn't really matter what the defense do, because they're going to help and I'm going to have an open shot. A lot of times off of rebounds you kick, who's always trailing? The 4-man. What's one of the most dangerous positions coming down on the fast break? The 4-man trailing into position. Trailing into position. Waiting. Why? Because somebody's collapsing the defense. I got my wings over here. The big man rolling, taking everybody guard. Somebody just going downhill. And guess who just come running down, trailing right there into that spot to catch and cash out. The 4-man position. That's why it is so lethal to have to play that position. And to be really good and execute, that position changes. That position changes organizations. You have a good 4 stretch man, he can change the entire organization. Why? Because he can win you a championship. Why? Because he's the ultimate X factor. He could be your best player on the court by only taking 5 shots. You knock down 4 out of 5 threes, you just change the whole dynamic of a game, because you didn't even have to take a lot of shots to do that. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to get these shots in the game so much. All you got to do is, you hit 2. Everything now is just a pump fake, because you have already proven that you can knock that shot down with a consistent basis. Not saying you're going to hit every single shot. That's not basketball. But if you can hit 50%, you get 4 open threes. You knock down 2. You're an elite player. You're an elite player. Why? Because you're in position to change the game. Every single time, close game, they got big rolling, that guard crashing to the glass. They gonna leave that 4 position wide open every single time for that pick. That pop, that 4 position, that stretch 4 position is so dynamic. I believe it is the most crucial spot on the basketball court, bar none. I don't care what nobody say. This is just my perspective from what I've seen and watched the game. That stretch 4 position, because a lot of time, like for instance, for me, I'm 6'7", 200 on a good day. So I'm pretty agile and quick and can put the ball on the floor. That's where the 3-man skills come in. So after I've hit two threes, all you got to do is hit 2. Boom, boom. It's just one dribble. One dribble, you're blowing by that big step up, you got the guard. One dribble, you blow by, they collapse the defense against you, got the kick out. One dribble, they don't step up, you got a nice little mid-range jump shot. Off of one dribble, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to affect the game at that position. because it is such a dynamic position that's going to be so open majority of the time of the game. So it's really about the game is won when you win it in your mind as a player in that position, because you have to understand that I'm going to get my shots. So the only thing that matters is if I hit my shots. I really don't have to worry about the defense too much, because it's all about me locking in and just finding out the rhythm of how I'm going to get my shots off and make my shots. All I got to do is worry about making my shots, because nothing else really matters. I'm going to get enough shots to change the game. I just have to be consistent enough to knock those shots down. That's where your preparation comes in. Understand, I have a big responsibility. Now, being that type of player, you have a big responsibility to maximize that position, because you will be in a great spot to advance your career, to advance your team, to help your team to win championships, because you locked in at that position. Some things that help me truly prepare, understanding this, truly prepare, I understand the game at that position is so mental for me that all I got to do is stay locked in. Like the lethal shooter guy, stay locked in, stay locked in, stay locked in. I'm meditating every single day, made shots from these positions, from just made shots. That's one of the secret tips that I've used from reading books and studying, and just understanding what you focus on grows. So if you understand that if I could take some time every single day and visualize and meditate on knocking down open shots, because when you're visualizing these things, you're open in your mind. You're in an open gym by yourself and you're just getting up shots and getting up reps. You get your mind so focused on this aspect and you start training in this way that once you get an open shot, your mind is automatically going to revert back to what you've been working on so much mentally that's all it sees. So that's why when you get these open shots, you're more capable of knocking them down, because you've taken the time to really mentally practice and mentally focus yourself on the open areas that you are going to receive. You understand the responsibility that you have to knock down open shots and how you're going to affect and change the game. So you take the extra time to go into meditation and visualize, these are my spots. These are where I'm going to get open. These are the scenarios that I'm going to be in. So I know I'm going to get my shot here. I know I'm going to get about, depending on the team that you're on, high level Argentina, for example, you're going to get about 6 to 7 shots. Good day, you might get 8 shots. So you do the math. If I get 8 shots, all I got to do is knock down 4. I might get 8 threes a game. All open threes. I knock that down. That's 50%. That is an elite shooter. That is what you call elite status. Just break it down to the man. I'm going to get 2 shots here off the big man rolling in this set. When we run this double stagger screen and the guard penetrates, a lot of the times the opposite guy helps from the right baseline. I'm in the corner, deep corner, that's going to be wide open almost every single time. That's just the way the game works. We got to start being strategical, and we got to start being more visual to really maximize and dominate this section. I get real passionate about this because this is how I've been able to win so much, because I understand you have the most dynamic, you have the ability to change the game from the position that you play by not doing much. So you're doing a lot with a little. That's where the mental preparation comes in. Being able to do a lot, being able to win a game, being able to change a game, being able to change your organization by having minimal shots, but doing big things by being able to knock down those shots, or being able to take advantage of that position and the mismatch that you normally have, because you're focusing on the actual outcomes that you want, which is knocking down shots. You're taking the mental preparation and understanding that, guess what? This game is really me against me. Can I knock down my open shots? Can I find my open spots to knock down my open shots consistently enough to be an impact player on the game? Listen, I ain't going to get too much more into it. That's all I got for this segment of Keys to the Game. That is what I believe is the most dominant position on the court. I'm not talking about individual players and how dominant it is, but overall, from my just views of the game, I believe that is the most integral and the most important, if not the most important position on the basketball court. If you play this position, Listen, start getting mentally and visually prepared and building up that awareness of how I'm going to affect and change your life, organizations, win championships by locking in and maximizing that position for yourself. Listen, that's all I got. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. Till next time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.